Friendo. Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. My hip hurts. It hurts from watching that. Yeah. Oh, that match.
That main event.
That main event, man. That ladder spot. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was for sure bad, but the swanton on the ring steps.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy either.
That was pretty gnarly, too. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin, somebody made the unfortunate decision to put these two guys in the ring together, which is, don't get me wrong, it's a dream match. Clearly, Absolutely. Darby Allin takes heavy influence, maybe prime influence, from Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And so to watch the future of that thing and the innovator himself go at it in the ring, it's a dream match in any scenario.
Absolutely.
But when they then said in the lead up to it, we're going to do this without rules.
That's the thing. It's one thing to have the match. Another thing to say basically anything goes. Because if he's saying anything goes, they're going to put their bodies on the line and then some. And that's exactly what happened. Of course, that match was a quarterfinal bout in the Owen Hart tournament, which kicked off, I guess, officially, because I guess everything else was qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament proper kicked off. Yeah. Tonight, we had 3 tournament matches, 2 in the men's bracket, 1 in the women's bracket. Martha Hart was there. They showed her a couple times. I believe Owen's entire family, or Owen and Martha's entire family was there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We'll do a quick recap of the results so far, and we'll go in depth more in the matches. Show up on the card. So Adam Cole beat Dax Harwood in a really fun bout to kick off the show.
Turns out Adam Cole makes for a better Bret Hart than Dax Harwood. That one probably stings. He tapped out to the sharpshooter.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't even get the Stone Cold. Cora Jade even got the Stone Cold finish.
The pass out finish.
Not Dax. He tapped out.
And then Jeff Hardy ends up beating Darby Allin. So now we got Adam Cole versus Jeff Hardy in the semifinal.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so at the end of the show, you had the Young Bucks walking out with Cole along with Redragon. So Adam Cole's going to advance the finals, and it's going to motivate probably the Hardy Boys taking on the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing.
Seems like it. And again, this is a perfect spot for Jeff Hardy. He's basically a walking dream match at this point. And so having him in a tournament where he can go against a bunch of guys, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna go on through to the end. I think my pick is sort of Cole, to be honest with you.
It depends who the Joker is.
Well, yeah, Brian Cage, right? Isn't it Brian Cage? Is it Shane Mercer?
I mean, if Shane Mercer, I think he would probably be your pick.
He would be my heart's pick if it was Shane Mercer. Yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, on the other side, the match that haven't happened, we had Kyle O'Reilly versus. It was just in my head, and
they showed it on. They showed the thing. We got Samoa Joe versus the Joker.
Yeah,
and Kyle O'Reilly versus. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue too.
Yeah, right. Trying to go through this stupid thing right here.
Ray Phoenix.
Thank you. Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
That'll be a good match.
That's gonna be a good match. One.
I mean, regardless who the Joker is, I feel like the Joker's winning because Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh are going to cost Samoa Joe that match.
So there was a report from Fightful earlier today. Go subscribe to Fightful.
Yes, absolutely.
That so far, Claudio Cameraman is content sitting at home waiting for a good offer to come in. And so it seems maybe unlikely that it's going to be like someone like a Claudio Cameraman. Who else could the Joker be?
Could be John.
Could be Gargano. That'd be interesting. Yeah. I wonder if he'd want to do that now that, well, Candice, I guess, has been home, huh? But she's like officially out of her WWE contract. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You got to figure, man, Jay Lethal and his dudes, they got something planned for Joe, which they alluded to tonight in a promo.
They did. They
didn't really drop any great hints, though.
No,
he basically just called Joe stupid.
Virtually.
He said, we have a phrase where he says, you want to know who the Joker is? It's not Jay Lethal. And I think he said it's not Satnam Singh.
He did.
He says, but where I come from, we have a phrase. Your brain is small and you got a big belly. Something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that doesn't really help at all.
Doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I mean, is there another wrestler that is sort of a dullard and also, has a spare tire? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it Otis?
Yeah, that's what I thought too when you said that.
Oh yeah.
No, I think he's probably for sure under contract, so probably not. Probably not.
Probably
Otis.
right about that.
So on the women's in the women's tournament, we had one match tonight. We had Toni Storm beat Jamie Hayter in a really fun bout.
Oh yeah.
Toni then faces the winner of Britt versus the Joker.
The Joker.
Britt versus Joker happens on Dynamite.
Boy, Joker's in this Joker person taking place in 2 tournaments. That's crazy.
Yeah, genuine Joker products. It seems like
genuine Joker product. That's crazy.
They announced that Riho versus Ruby Soho is happening on Rampage. Kind of wish they would have had 2 women's matches on the show along with 2 men's matches.
They don't do that.
Should have.
Yeah.
It'd been great. They had 2 women's matches on the Rampage. Have 2 on Dynamite, please.
Yeah. I mean, you can, if you want to talk to Tony, or do you want we can just write a letter after the show.
A sternly worded letter?
Of course, absolutely. That's the only
Sternly
letter.
worded,
That's the
but
only
polite.
letter worth writing, man.
But polite. Sternly worded, but polite.
Oh, not disrespectful, but sternly worded.
Sternly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sternly.
We also got origin story of Hookhausen. Kind of surprising. Interesting way, but I kind of like that. I kind of like how they did this Danhausen debut, man. It's like people have the expectations. They want to know. Half the world is like, I don't get Danhausen. Half the world's like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And so he makes his debut. The cape is amazing. He's fantastic.
The new theme's really good.
The new theme is really good. They did a killer job. And then he gets in there and, one distraction and what does Tony Nese call his knee?
The running Nese.
The running Nese. Thank you. Bang, Danhausen's done. He gets a bit of the Dan Matha treatment. And they start putting the boots, or he starts like doling out a bunch of these as Sterling's on the mic. And then of course, crowd's chanting, going crazy for Hook. Hook shows up, dispatches of everybody. He's going to have a match with Nese, and him and Danhausen. Danhausen puts his hand out. Hook shakes it. Place goes crazy for that.
Yeah, and then they announced that on the buy-in at Double or Nothing is Hook and Danhausen against Toni Nese and Mark Sterling.
Yeah. Listening to commentary, figure out what Danhausen was that it was pretty hilarious.
It was.
Tony just saying, "Well, he's got a lot of tattoos." It's like, man, can we? Anyways, yeah.
But that the crowd has wanted this alliance, and we got it.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, it's part of the de-wiring, or at least wiring a different part of the brain for AEW versus WWE. Remember when they teased Bryan and Mox, and you were like swearing up and down, like, they're not going to do this. They're going to feud. Why? Because that's how the other guys would do it.
We've been conditioned.
We've been conditioned. And even I was doubtful of it.
Because we don't get anything cool. We're used to not getting anything cool in WWE. They'll set something up, and then they won't do anything cool with it.
They've only just got around to putting AJ and Finn together. This just is happening now.
6 years into AJ Styles' WWE career.
Right, exactly. And so we got that. We're going to get Hookhausen to some degree. Because come on, man, nobody wants to see these guys fight. They'll probably fight eventually. Nobody wants to see that. They want to see him bond.
Exactly.
Because it's friends. Like what was the Jack Lemmon and the other guy, Walter Matthau?
Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple. People love the Odd Couple. I think that's why people like us, man. Because you're you and I'm me, and it's not like there's 2 Larsons here, 2 Steves.
We're not the same.
Be a mess.
We're not diametrically opposed.
No.
There's a Venn diagram of us. I think there'd be a lot in the middle.
It's just Wrath of Khan. It's just Wrath of Khan in the middle.
Well, it's not just Wrath of Khan. There's some other movies in there.
Yeah.
Maybe Wrath of Khan's largest in the list of movies.
Stanley Kubrick's in there.
Boogie Nights is in there.
Radio
We literally saw the movie like 6 times together in the theater.
It was great. I know. It was awesome.
Pretty great.
We went to go see a special screening of it where
I know.
I was going to say now his name is redacted.
Mm-hmm. But Paul Thomas Anderson was there too.
He was there, and Eli Roth was there.
Eli Roth was there.
Cool guy.
It was a fun night.
MJF also gave Wardlow his. Of course, they were in Long Island, where MJF is from, so it's now MJF territory. Yeah. And I love that they've established that as precedence, and he comes back in, and they know the crowd. The crowd knows anything MJF does, we love. And he'll respond in kind. He's not going to turn on us. And so we have to boo everything. And sure enough, they did this great Dark Side of the Ring parody thing, which was awesome.
It was so good.
and painting him as a victim. And even Wardlow's Tron just said, "Boo Wardlow."
Yeah.
And but of course, MJF gives his conditions to Wardlow once again, because I think the lashings was from the Cody stuff.
Yeah, and MJF referenced that.
Yeah. And so he's got lashings again, and I love how he used Sean Spears here. That was great.
That was great.
Crowd.
So there's lashings, and then Wardlow has to have a cage match against Spears with MJF as special ref, and Wardlow's like, "Oh yeah, fine." Against Spears, totally cool. And MJF's like, do I need to remind you, you're 0-2 in cage matches?
Yeah.
And that kind of stung a little bit for Wardlow.
Yeah, but then on top of that, isn't MJF going to be like special guest ref or something?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the bigger thing there. God, remember when Cody did that crazy moonsault off the top of the cage?
Again, as the match against Wardlow.
AEW, exactly. AEW took him for granted, man. Now look at him. Huge.
Speaking of huge, CM Punk was in action against John Silver, and he was healing it up in Long Island. Takes one feud with MJF, and now Punk is a forever heel in Long Island. He had a New York Islanders jersey on, which at first I was like, okay, he's trying to appeal to the crowd.
Yeah.
And then I saw he turned around and it said, Tavares, I'm back. And I don't know a whole lot about hockey.
Sure, we're not an enforcer.
Yeah, but it turns out John Tavares used to be on the Islanders. He's not anymore. Now he's a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So what you thought initially was, hey, he's trying to appeal to the fans. No, he's trying to stick it to him.
Sticking it to him. Well, he had that shit-eating grin on his face, too. Like he knew what was coming.
Music off.
Yeah,
he cut his music off on the stage so he can come down to a chorus of boos.
Yeah, get a load of this, everybody. Yeah. That was really good. And then, of course, now we've figured out who will be evening the odds against the Jericho Appreciation Society. The numbers game is now in favor of Eddie Kingston Santana Ortiz due to their alliance with the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, that was great.
It was an awesome segment where Eddie Kingston literally tried to choke Chris Jericho to death. That was one of the more disturbing things. And this is the same night that Darby Allin went 15 feet off a ladder onto Jeff Hardy and do a bunch of
a pile of chairs.
And he was doing a Latrell Sprewell there. To PJ Carlissimo.
Yeah, Jericho is PJ Carlissimo. Yeah. So you got to imagine we're gonna have like a 10-man tag, maybe a blood and guts match at probably not blood and guts. At Double or Nothing.
Blood and guts is kind of difficult, maybe because
it's the two rings. Yeah.
They got the two ring. Yeah, it's War Games.
So if they do blood and guts, it won't be a Double or Nothing.
But yeah, you got to figure it's gonna be some sort of weird stipulation. I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out a way to do blood and guts. But yeah, that'd be kind of difficult. But yeah, maybe they'll do a
different location.
One cage on top of the other cage.
Oh, the Doomsday cage.
The Doomsday cage. Yeah.
Yeah, that always works out well, doesn't it?
Doomsday blood and guts. Oh, that was wildly popular. Always perfectly executed.
I haven't seen it since Slamboree 2000. It was so popular. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, nobody can top that. Anyways, man,
we're gonna David Arquette in a match. I guess it's hard to top, isn't it?
It really is. Be honest with you. We're gonna dive into the nitty gritty of AEW Dynamite. But Larson, let's say we pay some bills first.
Sure. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Lumen. Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Let's talk skincare.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought that washing your face with the same body wash or soap that you used on the rest of your body was a recipe for a quality skincare routine. Well, it turns out I was wrong. That's fiction. Apparently, that body wash or soap I've been using all these years is actually damaging my skin.
Eek. But with Lumen, you can drop that bottle of 3-in-1 and start using products that actually take care of your skin. Lumen's products aim to help those with those stubborn acne scars, under-eye dark circles, wrinkles, sun-damaged dry skin, and oily skin. And getting started is easy. All you got to do is take the 2-minute quiz on their website, and they'll tell you which skincare routine is best suited for your needs.
Yeah, I took the quiz and got the anti-fatigue essential set to help with these dark circles I keep getting under my eyes. And it's great that Lumen's products come with instructions, because those of us who are used to rubbing a bar of soap on our faces and calling it a day will now just have to follow an easy step-by-step process to help protect our skin.
So level up your skincare game today with Lumen Skin. Go to lumenskin.com/raw to get your free trial of Lumen's products.
That's LUMIN skin.com/raw to get your free trial of Lumen's products. Lumenskin.com/raw. Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Blenders Eyewear. Fresh from the sandy beach of San Diego, California, comes my new favorite sunglasses brand. I'm talking about Blenders Eyewear. Check out these Ice Crush shades.
Ooh.
I got to wear my morning walks. I'm out running errands. They fit great and look even better.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Check out my Stone Breakers, Larson. Look at these. Look at these things. Oh, I'm the epitome of cool right now.
Oh, you really are.
Blender's founder, Chase Fisher, started the company to create adventurous mid-priced eyewear, and Blender's team of in-house designers continue that philosophy by coming up with new styles like orange polarized wraparounds. Think like Bret Hart sunglasses, but they're orange. And they also got sunglasses that are like tortoise shell frames with purple lenses. How crazy is that?
Wow, that sounds great. And unlike expensive big brand shades, Blenders are affordable while still offering the same cool factor. I mean, look at Steve.
Super cool.
Super cool. As other leading styles. And Blenders has more than sunglasses. They also offer prescription glasses, readers, blue lights, as well as a snow collection with goggles and accessories. So live life in forward motion with Blenders today.
To score 15% off your Blenders purchase, visit blenderseyewear.com and enter promo code RAWVIP. That's blenderseyewear.com, code RAWVIP for 15% off. Blenders, rocked with pride worldwide. Look at me, man. I look like Lou Reed with these things on.
You do.
He was super cool, I think.
I don't know. Anyways, let's get into the show. Kicked off with Adam Cole, baby, taking on Dax Harwood. Quarterfinal match in the Owen Hart Tournament. Throughout the build of this match, they're setting this up as sons of Shawn Michaels versus son of Shawn Michaels versus son of Bret Hart / Owen Hart, essentially.
Was I tripping, or did Adam Cole not participate in that at all? He wasn't. I mean, obviously he's got the super kick.
I mean, in the build-up, no, but in here, yes, because you literally tried to do a sweet chin music to him.
Yeah, okay, all right, but it's not like he wore any of the gear. Like, you know what this really needs? This needs to be a story now for Dax, where he's like, man, all my life, I've been the biggest Bret Hart fan. He made me feel pro wrestling, but look what happened when I try to emulate him in the ring against a Shawn Michaels guy. I look like an asshole tapping out to the sharpshooter. My guy's own move. He put me in the sharpshooter. He needs to find somebody new to emulate.
Needs to do is start watching some Shawn Michaels tape.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Come out the Shawn Michaels theme, do the pose during his entrance, all that.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to be like this. He's like, look, man, God, Bret he's not the way. I need to find somebody new who is the way. Who yes, Sid. He needs to find the Sid way.
Yes.
He's like,
to watch a lot of Sid.
It's like, man, Bret Hart wasn't the master and ruler of the world.
Sid was.
Sid was so cool he could doot his pants during WrestleMania and nobody will even know or care.
No. Nope. This is a really fun match, though. Adam Cole was working over Dax's ribs early and often. He basically slid him halfway across the ring to the ring post and then threw him in the ring steps a bunch and into the ring post again. He's killing Dax's ribs. Dax would get some offense in. He hits that great slingshot powerbomb at one point. About halfway through the bout, Cole is calling for sweet chin music. Dax ducks that, rolls him up, hits a crossbody off the top. Eventually, though, Dax hits a pile driver that gets him a 2 count. He's locks on a sharpshooter. That's Bret's move. That's
Bret's move.
But all the damage to the ribs, too much. He can't hold the sharpshooter. You need that core strength to that sharpshooter.
Sure.
His ribs give out, so he rolls to the apron. Cole knocks him off the apron to the floor, and Dax just lands with a thud.
Yeah.
On the mat.
And then he beats an 11 count because let's be honest, man, that shit was
a generous 10 count.
That was a generous 10 count. So he gets back in. Cole locks on the sharpshooter, and then Dax has to tap out. Doesn't even pass out. He taps out.
No, he taps.
Lesson to you, Dax. You got to find somebody else to idolize. It's funny because, Cole did the sweet chin music thing. But like none of the buildup, like it's not like he came out in like long tights, like Shawn, like some
it's
brown
just the
pants.
idea. Where is he from? Where did he just wrestle?
I know, but I wonder if at any point if Cole was
Shawn
like,
Michaels.
I wonder if he was like, you know what, I'm more of a Triple H guy, really. I don't know. Anyways, I feel like this was a one-sided affair with all that.
Yeah, it kind of was, but that's how at least Dax Harwood framed this battle.
Yeah. Cole was like, man, I don't know. I'm too busy playing Elden Ring. Whatever you want to do, man. That's good.
Yeah, sure. Battle between Bret Hart and Master Chief. I don't care.
Yeah, who's the main character in Elden Ring? Is it Elden? Is it about a guy named Elden Ring?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you name your guy?
Why are you asking me these questions?
Come on, man. I know you're a nerd. You know this stuff. Come on, dork.
hey, Steve, go outside, nerd.
Go outside, nerd. Oh, man. After that, we had a Darby Allin, Jeff Hardy video package where they were like, man, we're not going to do catch as catch can. We're going to trick people into thinking we're going to kill each other. And then they almost kill each other.
They almost did.
Yeah. Then we had CM Punk versus John Silver. Johnny Hungy, Johnny Meat, John. And, of course, we already mentioned. So Hangman joins commentary. He's out there.
Yeah.
And he's cracking up because Punk is out there just get to a course of absolute booze. He's got the Islanders jersey on and seemingly no pants. It's like he's like Keith out there. His shirt's a little too short. And Punk is like, hey, cut my music. He's just clobbering time, and people are booing the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So this is a typical John Silver. So much fun, man.
Oh yeah.
That little dude. He's super quick. But this is the great part. So Silver hits like a tornado DDT, gets two with that. He calls for a spin doctor. Punk escapes that. He hits a head kick, a running knee, a clothesline, a leg lariat, and then he daggers at Hangman Page at commentary. And then he hits Silver with a buckshot lariat, and he gets the win with that. Protects the move. Yep. And Hangman's not happy about that at all.
He is pissed.
So he comes down to the ring. He gets in Punk's face. He's like, oh, yeah. And Punk, he gets on the mic. He's like, you mad? He says, last week it sounded like you were taking it personal. He says, I don't know why Long Island doesn't like me, but when it comes to the AEW title, it's not personal. It's just business. He says, I used to wake up every morning and I used to ask myself if I'm the good guy. Today I woke up and I asked myself if I was a champion, and I am. Whether you like it or not, at the end of Double or Nothing, you will shake my hand. And then Punk offers his, because he mentions that he had said, you're not going to shake my hand. He offers his hand, and then Page gives him the middle finger right to the forehead there. Mm-hmm. I thought this was great, man. As much of a fan of CM Punk as I am, I'm looking forward to seeing his getting his ass kicked. Yeah. I want to see Hangman just devastate him with that lariat, man.
Yeah, wow.
I'll be popping pretty hard. Because Punk, when he's he's got the kind of like arrogant shit that you kind of know he draws on from real life, Yeah. And like that's the kind of Punk. It's just the Eddie Kingston thing. If Eddie beat him, I would have popped bigger than ever.
Yeah.
I like Punk, but I also kind of like to see Punk get beat.
Yeah. No, I hear you. After that, we had a Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker interview. And so Britt's talking about how it's like a grand conspiracy that she has to face the Joker. But she says, in the end, it's not going to matter. I'm going to win, just like tonight. Jamie is also going to win. And she says, here's the thing about storms. When storms come rolling in, they're exciting, but they pass.
Are they?
She says, tonight, the storm is over, and a hater is rolling in. Mm-hmm. And Toni says, well, if you both win round one, you're going to face off in round two. And Britt's like, well, that's so. It will be a fair fight, and let the better woman win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right there. I mean, first of all, it's not going to happen. Some fuzz floating down. And if it did happen, Britt would do everything she could to win that match.
Oh, of course. And she even looked back at Reba, at Rebel, as like, oh, yeah, we're going to make sure this happens. So yeah, no, it's obviously not going to happen. No. After that, we had Danhausen versus Toni Nese. We sort of talked about this a little bit. Nese is flexing on Danhausen. Danhausen's like, oh, yes. And he tries to curse him. Sterling's pissed off about that. He distracts him, being pissed off. Nese then lays out Danhausen, gives him running Nese for the win. Sterling gets on the mic.
This took 30 seconds.
This was nothing. I was about to leave the room to go grab another meatloaf sandwich. And then
you had meatloaf tonight?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Did
you make your own meatloaf?
Yeah.
Oof.
It was really good.
Ooh.
I had 4 open-faced meatloaf sandwiches.
Nice.
They were good, man. What can I say? I can't help myself. So anyway, Sterling gets on the mic. I had almonds and cheese and blackberries for lunch, man.
I know. You don't eat a whole lot like for lunch, so.
I know, at all. It's like a child's snack.
Yeah. Would you have almonds and what else? Blackberries?
Blackberries and some string cheese. It's literally like a parent who's far too strict and maybe like, one of those weird religious peoples. What they feed their kid for lunch. Not like the normal ones, like the ones who are like too far gone with it,
Oh my god!
Like
I was gonna say like a parent that was in a rush and just tossed a bunch of random stuff in a lunchbox and sent their child off to school.
No, it's like a parent who thinks that Lunchables are like, made from the devil or something. It's like those parents who wouldn't let their kids watch The Simpsons when we were kids. It's like, it's just The Simpsons. Not that big of a deal.
No, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's not. Anyway, so Sterling gets on the mic. He's like, to the crowd, are you shocked? He says, this guy got an entrance and you didn't, Toni Nese. What are you going to do about it? So Tony hits him another running Nese. And Sterling says, Toni Nese is going to embarrass all of your internet meme wrestlers. He tells him to do it again. So Nese lowers his knee pad. He's about to hit another running Nese. And out comes Hook. Theme plays. He comes to the ring. Nese to Sterling, don't waste any time. They get out of the ring. They just leave. And then Danhausen gets up, extends his hand, Hook shakes it, and then just immediately leaves himself.
Yeah.
So this will be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what they do with this pairing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Are they? Go ahead.
I was saying, but I don't really know what tack they're going to take because they are such an odd couple, and the goal obviously is by pairing two wrestlers who are both over in their own right together to get them more over.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
For Hook, I get it because it gives him dimension.
It does, and it also sells a bunch of shirts. They even mentioned that when Hook was walking up the ramp. They're like, man, Tony, imagine all the shirts they're going to sell with this.
That's true.
Which is great, and they're probably going to be cool shirts. But yeah, no, you're right. It's like, man, they're a really popular act. It's a great odd couple situation. It's just I wonder how it's all going to end up playing out. Because AEW they just sort of move things along. It's like, hey, people want it, let's just do it, and then you're done with it, and then maybe you can circle back around to it. I feel like Danhausen has like a little bit more of a ceiling, perhaps, in terms of a character than like Orange Cassidy, who is still kind of like an anti-character,
Yeah.
Danhausen, I think there's probably a lot there to mine. It'll be interesting to see what they're able to mine with Danhausen. Honestly, like long-term for him, I wonder if he'd ever want to be like, if he's like, wrestling's great and everything, but I want to be the next Sven Gulli. Because he's got that vibe,
Oh, 1,000%. That's his thing, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't mind watching old movies being hosted by Danhausen. That'd be cool. I don't know. Such an interesting character. I love that shit. It's so creative.
Yeah, me too.
It's so incredibly creative. Anyways, man, you want to pay a couple more bills here, Larson? All right. Well, let's do it then. We're going to take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Upside. I got to tell you, Larson.
What's that, Steve?
Every time I'm out getting gas, I'm getting some food at a restaurant, I'm noticing that everything is more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
There's this thing called inflation, and it's really hitting Steve where it hurts, and man, does it hurt.
I hear you, Steve. I hear you, which is why I started using Upside when buying gas or dining out, because Upside gives me cash back on those purchases. I've bought gas, and I've bought burritos, and with each purchase, I've got cash put back into my pockets so that later on this week, perhaps even as soon as tomorrow,
Wow.
I'm going to buy more burritos with the cash back I got from buying burritos before. I've tried Upside. It really works, and it's great because it means I could eat more burritos.
But then those burritos pay for more burritos. Man, that's nuts. Here's the thing, too. Upside is super easy to use. You just download the app from the App Store or Google Play. You claim an offer on whatever it is you're buying, check in, pay as you normally would with like a debit or credit card, and then bang, you get paid. It just goes straight into like you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and a bunch of other brands.
Yeah, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside in comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs. So download the free Upside app and use promo code RAW to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code RAW. Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, First Person. You know, Steve, I think a lot of us wouldn't mind turning back the clock.
Ooh.
You know, for some it might be for vanity, for others to relive their glory days. But for me, man, I just want to wake up in the morning and feel rested and energized for the day like I did when I was younger, rather than feel tired and anxious and grumpy like I do now.
So grumpy. Well, man, I'm happy you mentioned all that because with First Person, you can take a more active role in your brain's overall health. First Person uses the brain-boosting medicinal benefits of mushrooms to activate the full potential of human cognition and brain health.
Full potential. Wow, I like the prospect of unlocking my Larson's full potential. Tell me more so I can become Prime Larson, Steve. Tell me more.
Absolutely. First Person supplements are made with functional mushrooms that look to stimulate the body's natural production of specific neurotransmitters that trigger activities like energy, mood, and sleep. That's right. Sleep, Larson. Their Moonlight supplement aims to help you, Larson, sleep.
Oh, man, sleep sounds so good. I want sleep. So start improving your brain health and cognition with First Person. Get 15% off your first order by going to getfirstperson.com and use code RAW. That's GETFIRSTPERSON.com, code RAW for 15% off your first order. Getfirstperson.com, code RAW.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Continuing on, we had a Wardlow and MJF contract signing after all that, and this was great. So we sort of mentioned there was like a Dark Side of the Ring little parody video that featured, so among others, Barry Horowitz, which is pretty great.
Good.
Yeah,
so good.
It legitimately seemed like the fellows behind Dark Side put this
Jason
thing together.
and Evan, yeah. They got the style down perfect.
Yeah,
they had Jericho do the voiceover for it.
Yeah, they had like a fake MJF that was slightly out of focus for some of the recreations.
I know, but I mean that's a little detail, but it's important. You know, they could have just as easily had real MJF do it.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
Yeah. So anyways, Wardlow's Tron, he comes to the ring. I mentioned this also. It says boo Wardlow. Security escorts him down. That's when we get the Dark Side thing. So MJF comes to the ring, of course, wearing an Islanders jersey, grabs the mic, says he loves Long Island, but unfortunately I got to talk to Wardlow. And the crowd just boos the shit out of Wardlow. And he says, let's be honest, it's a tale as old as time itself. It's biblical. He says, David, me versus Goliath, you, Wardlow. He says, we all know why we're here, to go over the conditions for the contract for the Double or Nothing match. MJF says, because I am salt of the earth, I'm going to let Wardlow get a chance to speak. I wouldn't want the fans here to stand and boo every time Wardlow stands and speaks, though. He gives Wardlow the floor. The fans just boo, boo, boo.
Oh, yeah. MJF being like super sarcastic.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't boo Wardlow.
And MJF says, I can't hear you. Should we let him talk again? And they're like, no. MJF says, fine. No speaking for Wardlow. Yeah. So he goes over the conditions. He says, karma's going to get you, Wardlow, for all the things you did to the American roller coaster, Cody Rhodes. He says, so if Wardlow wants to face me, you'll have to take 10 lashes from MJF. And the way he frames it, he says, not 1, not 2, not 3, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets up to 9, and he says, not 9, Mr. Spears. Sean Spears takes his jacket off.
He leans into it.
Oh, 10.
I thought he was going to take his jacket out and pull out the laminated placard.
Oh, that'd have been great.
That's what I was hoping for.
That'd have been pretty awesome. So anyway,
he did a few of these too. It was great.
Yeah.
It's good to see the perfect 10 back a little bit.
He then says if Wardlow gets past that, you got to wrestle Spears in a cage. He said, and Wardlow looks at Spears and he's like, "You're dead, man. What the hell?" And MJ's like, "Hold on a second, dude. You're 0-2 in a cage." He's like, "On top of that, you're gonna have a special guest referee, and that guy's name is MJF." He says, "If you get past that, then I'll give you the match." He says, "We've talked about what happens if you win, but if you lose, you'll never be able to sign a contract with AEW." And he says, "What do you say?" And so Wardlow's like, "Yeah, go ahead. I'll sign." So he's handcuffed. So he's got the pen and he's trying to sign and he can't sign with the cuffs on. And so MJF's like, "Come on, security, go ahead and uncuff him. It's not a big deal." And the crowd's like, no, don't do that. Like the crowd knows what's up. And MJF's like, "No, it's fine. We got security here. It's good." So finally, security's able to get the handcuffs. It took the second one forever. And so Wardlow signs the contract. And then he's like, "Okay, now cuff him again." Wardlow fakes like he's going to let him do it. Instead, he slams security guard's head into the table. And there's like 15 dudes there. And he just wrecks them all. He like throws the table at him, takes them all out. Spears is there protecting MJF. Wardlow clears the ring completely of security. Spears comes in with his chair. Wardlow drops him. MJF tries to leave, but Wardlow's able to grab him, looks for a powerbomb. Sterling jumps up on Wardlow's back. That allows MJF a chance to escape. And then Wardlow powerbombs Sterling, just powers him to death through the table. Oh, It was a rough bump for Mark Sterling.
It was.
Great segment, though.
It was a great segment. It was a lot of fun.
You know, the one thing about Wardlow, the complaint we always used to have was he talks too damn much. He has really found a much more efficient way to do these segments that used to be too long, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. After that, we had a Samoa Joe promo that was intercut with bits from Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. So Joe says, "Ever since I walked into AEW, all I've been faced with is jokers," because he's facing
genuine Joker product.
Joker in the men's Owens tournament. He said, "Fools and clowns like Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh." Dutt then, this is one of those promos where they are off or two different like cameras, but then they somehow are responding to each other.
Yeah, right.
And that's when Sanjay says, "Jay Lethal's not the Joker, neither is Satnam Singh." Joe says, "I'm going to win the Owen tournament, and I'm coming for them and settle things my way."
Yeah. After that, we had Jungle Boy versus Ricky Starks. This is for the FTW title. And, of course, this ends up just being sort of an overbooked mess. So at one point, Starks gets the FTW title. Swerve comes down, runs to ringside. Jungle Boy rolls up Starks, but the ref is distracted by Swerve. The ref is outside the ring, just yelling, just sweaty yelling at Swerve. And Swerve's like,
he's got the title too with Swerve, and and he's distracted by Swerve.
Yeah, and Swerve's like, "Look what's happening right now." So anyways, the ref is distracted. So finally, the ref gets back in the ring, and at that point, Starks is able to hit all that distraction. He's able to hit his finish on Jungle Boy for the win. Christian and Luchasaurus walk down to the ring. Christian brushes past Swerve. Swerve's like, "I didn't like that very much." Swerve gets on the apron. He argues with Christian. Hobbs and Starks walks back over towards Swerve. Keith Lee then comes out to get Swerve's back. So everybody's just sort of milling about there.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus walks out of the ring. Christian puts his hand on Jungle Boy's shoulder and then gives him a hug.
They really framed it, though, where it's entirely possible that Christian was just going to lay out Jungle Boy.
Yeah, they've been framing that for like 6 months now. It's been a very long time.
Been a little while.
I hesitate to think that he's going to cost them any victories. I kind of feel like he's going to be like, "Hey, once they lose, probably a double or nothing, I'm done with losers," and then he'll turn on them. And then I'll be happy because I'll have heel Christian.
Yep. Steve will be number one Christian fan then. Then we get the Jericho Appreciation Society victory speech. Angelo Parker welcomes the AEW Galaxy to their victory celebration speech. Matt Menard says, "You know what really turns me on? The fact that I get to be a part of the greatest faction in wrestling history." Jericho takes the podium, says, "You know, there are a lot of hometown heroes tonight, and I'm one of them. I was born just up the road, but I moved away quickly because this place is a dump." He tells a fan ringside, he says, "Hey, nerd." He tell him to go outside. He says, "I'll throw a fireball in your face because I'm a wizard." Like, that's your thing now?
Yeah.
All right, Chris. And he says, "We did what we said we were going to do. We eliminated Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. You're not going to see him here. Just stay home." He says, "Eddie, for sure, you should stay home and take care of your wife. Make sure she feels better. And if she doesn't, just have her give me a call.
Ooh.
And then Daniel Garcia says, every time a wrestler steps in the ring with a sports entertainer wins every time. They're interrupted by Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley, once a premier sports entertainer himself.
Yes, but now a premier pro wrestler. He takes his time getting to the ring, and Jericho's like, you got no chance. I'll give you one more chance to go another extended sabbatical. There's one of you, 5 of us. Cue Bryan Danielson's music. He, Wheeler Yuta, William Regal make their way out to the stage. And Jericho's like, still 4 on 5. Little does he know that Eddie, Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz are on the apron behind them. So they're surrounded. They got Blackpool Combat Club on one side. Eddie and Santana Ortiz on the other side. They all get in the ring. Eddie makes the first move, goes after Jericho. Huge brawl breaks out. Eddie's choking Jericho. Hager pulls him out. And then Regal just decks Jericho. Just punches him. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, no, this is great because Eddie tried to legit kill Chris Jericho. And then he started stomping on the podium.
He's beat the shit out of the podium.
Yeah. And then next week they're going to have a Regal and Jericho face-to-face.
Face-to-face, yeah.
That's going to be good. We had a really cool Serena Deeb Thunder Rosa video package for their match coming up. And then we had Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm for the Owen Foundation Cup. This was really, really good stuff here. Toni Storm got the win with Storm 0, kind of out of nowhere. It was cool.
Yeah. That was really quick with the Storm 0. It was a fun match, though. That suplex that Hayter hit on the floor on Toni, the kind of twisting one.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of, honestly, tonight, between the Dax and Cole match and this match, there was a ton of like German suplexes that were just super high angle.
Yeah.
And then I start going, oh, dear.
Oh, I know. You're teetotaling over these high spots.
Telling you, man. Just the German suplexes. I mean, come on. Everybody's teetotaling over the friggin' ladder match.
Just the ladder spots. All the ladder spots. The swanton on top of the ring steps. What am I missing?
Oh, man. I don't know. But, well, Eddie Kingston choking Chris Jericho like he's
sure,
PJ
that
Carly
too.
Snow.
What about the podium? Do you not care about the podium?
Oh, man. Podium. Absolutely. Where's his rights? Where's Podium's rights?
So yeah, Toni Storm wins with Storm 0. Fun match. Then we get Scorpio Sky promo. He's taking on Kazarian on Rampage, I believe, and he kind of recounts his history with Kazarian, of course, going back to SCU. And he says this bout will be friendly fire. Then
one thing. Sorry, somebody in chat here said, "Why did Kingston have ketchup on his face?" The makeup for his fireball was ridiculous.
Not good. It was not good.
I really wish they would have done an Uncle Leo where the fireball had singed off his eyebrows.
Because they made a point of him.
I know.
Right before that.
And then he draws his eyebrows on.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're all like pointy.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's because Eddie Kingston's always upset anyways. So like it really wouldn't have worked. It'd just be like, oh, you're so upset. But he is.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Uncle Leo wasn't. That was a joke.
Yeah, that was the joke. So we get a response from Kazarian. He's got an interview, but he's quickly answered by Sammy Guevara. And Ty Conti. Sammy tells Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, you knew. He's dead. You can't trust him now. And Kazarian says, I trust myself, so I'm fine. You go be unlikable someplace else.
And he says, your vlog sucks. Kazarian, you got to come up with some better material, man. Sammy's a pretty easy target, too. Although, I'll be honest with you, like, now that Sammy's leaning into heel, see, before it was more like, oh, everybody should think we're so cool because, like, we're together. And that's just annoying. Nobody likes that. But when you're just walking around acting like an asshole, that can be kind of entertaining. Anyways, after that, we had the main event, Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. Oh, boy. If you want your blood pressure up, go ahead and watch this match. It's fantastic. But good Lord, that ladder spot, I was shocked. I was like, oh, I can't believe that's really high up there. And there's just steel steps. And Jeff looked, I could be wrong, he looked legitimately out of it after that spot for a spell. Like, even the apron bit when he got out of the way of Darby, it looked like that was mainly Darby doing everything. Like, oh, Hardy gets out of the way. No, Darby just sort of sold it short.
It's hard to tell because you can tell Jeff just kind of period isn't moving that well. Like he'll
that's true too. Yeah,
he's kind of limping around anyways, and he's can tell the years of punishment his body has taken seemingly is catching up to him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a couple crazy spots. Like as soon as the bell rings, Darby hits Jeff with a drop kick. Jeff rolls out of the ring. Darby just like bowls over him with a suicide dive. He gets a bunch of chairs from the ring and sets him up. Hardy sends Darby into the ring steps. And eventually he pulls this giant ladder out of the ring. So after he does that, he puts it in the ring, and they're on either side of it. Mm-hmm. And there might have been 2 feet between their backs and the ropes on either side. So this is like a 15-foot ladder.
Yeah.
It was enormous.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Massive, yeah.
So Jeff eventually puts Darby on those chairs that Darby had set up. They're like 6 chairs, and he sets them up so they're upright, like the front of the seat facing each other. So Jeff puts Darby on it. He starts climbing up the ladder. You're like, oh, shit, he's going to do a swanton off this. Please, no. Darby gets up, pulls Jeff off the ladder, sends him on top of the top rope, crotch first, and then boots Hardy to the floor. So Hardy just kind of climbs up onto the chairs to get up. Darby climbs the ladder, basically hits a senton off the ladder, 15 feet up, sends himself and Jeff into that pile of chairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked pretty. It was pretty brutal, man. It was pretty brutal. It's nuts that that dude puts himself through that.
I know, and that's not even it. So then they get back in the ring. Darby's looking for a coffin drop to win the match. So Jeff rolls the apron. Well, Darby's like, okay, I'll hit you with a coffin drop there. Goes for it. Jeff moves the last minute. Just kind of rolls back a little bit towards the ring. Darby just eats apron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then Jeff puts Darby on top of the ring steps, goes up top, goes for a swanton. Darby gets out of the way. And so Jeff had put the ring steps so they're up. They're not, like how you normally use them, turned like 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So the side is facing up. And so bang, he crashes into the side of the ring steps. Ow. Darby puts Jeff into the ring, hits a coffin drop, covers at like 2. Jeff reverses that cover into a crucifix to get the win.
Yeah. It was stellar stuff. I mean, it was, you put these 2 guys in the ring together, and this is this is what you want, It's crazy. I'm just glad that nobody really got seriously injured.
I know. Joe makes this point, and commentary did too. With all the crazy moves, anything goes. Jeff wins with the pro wrestling move.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and then we get Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole, which is another match that we didn't see in the last place that we get to see here, which is really cool.
You can say the name of the last place.
No, I know. I've said it before. New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA.
And Cole's never in TNA.
So you think?
No, I know.
Want to answer some questions?
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
You want to answer some questions?
That sounds good.
We got some questions. I got a thread here on the Patreon, patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We have a variety of reward tiers there, including $5 a month. Goes a long way towards helping us support going in Raw. Yes, Larson.
Sorry to interrupt. Cornbread Haas reminded me. Next week's Dynamite's billed as
the Wild Card Finals.
Wednesday, but yes, of course, reminiscent of WWE's famed Wild Card Final.
See, the great thing about the Wild Card Finals was the finals aspect of it. What was it the finals to?
No idea. No clue.
What was it the finals to? There was
nothing. Absolutely no idea.
There was no Wild Card semifinals.
No.
We should do a retro review of that. See if we can find out what the hell happened there. Yeah. Let's see here.
Good name though, Wild Card Finals. What a great name.
It's a great name, but I'd love for there to be like a month-long build to the Wild Card.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Gregory Mullins says, do you think the stipulations MJF came up with lack the impact due to repeating what he's already done with Cody? I think the lashes are unnecessary. Find something new with the lashes. Like everything else, great. Like the steel cage, that's fine. Steel cages are brutal. MJF's going to be the ref. That's fine. Have matches. I feel like there should be something different than the lashes. Like, what they should do? Because the prank guys were there tonight. What is that show called? Top Pranks or something like that?
Impractical Jokers?
That thing. They should have Wardlow participate in that. So you get MJF and Spears in one room, and Wardlow has to go to like his mom's house with like an earpiece, and then they tell him what to say to his mom. Wouldn't that be great? Or Tony Khan. He has to go into Tony Khan's office. And like he has to talk about like, hey, I really think you should sign MJF to a lot more money.
They do the close with Tony Khan. Like, what?
You can't tell me that's not a fucking great idea now that I mentioned it.
It'd be funny.
See, that to me is worth more than lashes.
So I was thinking that he would make, I don't know why this popped in my head, he'd make Wardlow do some competitive eating. Like you have to do the hot dog eating contest.
Dunking in the water?
Yeah.
You know, I thought competitive hot dog eating sounded like a really cool thing until I actually witnessed it, and they're just dunking them in water. I'm like, who wants to eat that shit? That's disgusting. You gotta eat like 70
of them in 10 minutes. Steve, you like hot dogs. You don't like hot dogs that much.
I don't like it that much, man. I just want like a solid Costco hot dog.
Yep. Imagine dunking one of those in water.
Fuck that.
No. Crank Zone Gaming, Kazarian said Sammy's vlogs sucked. Power Rank Wrestler vlogs. What's best vlog?
Oh, man. Best vlog. I mean, being the Elite's got to be number one.
Yeah, BT's got to be on there. Thunder Rosa, her vlog.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Ethan Page got a vlog. Who else?
I'd put Ethan second because he like tracks down toys. Does Cardona have? Oh, Danhausen's would be way up there because Danhausen's hilarious to me. So I'd put BTE. I'd put Danhausen. I'd put Page because that's how I knew about Page. I'm like, oh, this guy seems really cool. And he did a streak of vlogs. Like, remember he was kind of like on the thicker side. And then he got like super fucking like jacked and ripped and stuff.
On that note, I don't know if Sheamus still does his workout vlog, but those were good.
Those were good. Oh, dude, how do we not put Kana at number one? Kana-chan TV.
Yeah.
That's easily Asuka. Anything Asuka does is number one.
Number one.
Man, absolutely. Let's see here. We talked about that. Matt from Assemble asked, what do we think happens after MJF and Wardlow finish their feud? Well, Wardlow's going to have a contract signing, or Tony's going to show up. I don't know. He'll sign an actual AEW contract. So that'll happen for him. MJF might go after the title by the time Full Gear runs around. No, All Out rolls around.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to go after the title by September.
That'd be my guess, too. Roz Cody, is there anything you'd want Excalibur to read really fast for you? Back when we were doing Raw reviews right after Raw, have Excalibur speed run those reviews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, God. Oof. Boy, oh boy. Let's see here. Shavon says Double or Nothing is really shaping up to be an amazing pay-per-view with all the story progression tonight. What match or matches will, quote, make your nipples hard? That is a quote from the Magic Man tonight. He says, you know what? Why being this faction makes my nipples hard?
Daddy Magic.
What match or matches are going to do it for you, Larson? What are you looking forward to most?
I think Punk versus Page is going to be really good.
I think that's my number one right now, man. I think it's my number one. It's going to be good.
Depending on who the Joker is, and if they make it to the final, Joker versus Cole could be really good.
I'll also give it to Wardlow MJF. I think the crowd is going to eat that match alive. I think it's going to be great. That power bomb. I mean, they've really turned the power bomb into something special, you know?
I know. Deeb and Thunder Rosa is going to be really good, too.
It's going to be a really good match.
Be a lot of really good matches. Dang MQ, when Miro return in time to be the Joker against Samoa Joe. Here's the thing. If Miro's the Joker, he's in the tournament, he needs to win it. Which I'm not opposed to. If Miro came back and won the tournament, I would be elated. I love Miro.
Yeah, Miro's great. Miro is great. Let's see.
But if they have him come back and he doesn't win the tournament, then it's going to be deflating.
I agree with that, too. Moses Supposa says, we've had Joker Sting. Which wrestler now do you want to see the Joker version of?
Give me Joker Punk.
Oh, wow. That's terrible. Yeah, that'd be awful. Him laughing. Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's got to be another bit. Like the Joker Ricky Starks or something.
Oh.
That actually wouldn't be terrible.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Jorge D.
Joker Chess Man.
Jorge.
Die Hard Homer, good one.
Jorge D, you guys get JR for an interview, but he's in one of his moods. How would it go, and what would you ask him?
JR, you ever heard of Amaranth? Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh, man, yeah. No, man, I'm on Twitch all the time.
If it starts getting off the rails, it's like, hey, tell us about your barbecue sauce.
Oh, God.
What are some barbecue techniques?
Just I can hear people tuning out. Nah, man. Let's hear your cranking techniques. Well, here's what I do. I take my left hand. All right. Okay, JR.
All right, JR. Enough.
That's too much, man. You're too much.
Enough.
Damn, man. Look at Amaranth, man. She's really Americanized herself.
Oh, my gosh. Dan Daniels, if MJF, Jade Cargill, and Toni Nese all called Mark Sterling at the same time, whose call is getting answered, whose call is going to voicemail, and who's getting ignored until Mark isn't busy? Toni Nese is getting ignored until Mark isn't busy.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I love that he brought up tonight, too. He was like, this guy got an entrance. You didn't get an entrance.
I know. I would think he would answer Jade first because Jade's his client primary.
That's his Jordan.
Yeah. He's just MJF's lawyer. Mm-hmm. He could call MJF back. Mm-hmm. I think he picks up the phone when Jade calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yup. All right, that's gonna do it for us, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tomorrow's our big stream day. So at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, we're watching NXT UK. After that, we've got The Numbers Don't Lie for subs, patrons, and YouTube channel members. And then, of course, at 5 p.m. tomorrow night Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Smash Zone, which is always a ton of fun every single week. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald, here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the week in wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.